Welcome to the on-demand webcast of what's new in Project and Job Costing version 5.5a for Sage Accpac ERP. We also have similar webcasts for the financial and operational modules of this new release posted on this site. Now before we get started, the recording that you're about to see is meant to give you an overview of the new features of Sage Accpac's Project and Job Cost module. However, it is not intended to serve as a sole basis for your purchasing decision. Now, Project and Job Costing version 5.5a introduces many new exciting features. Let's start off with the integration with Sage Accpac's order entry module. One of the significant enhancements to the Project and Job Costing is its integration with Sage Accpac order entry. This is to accommodate primarily the needs of light service and manufacturing customers. This new enhancement allows for, say, invoicing of different types of cost classes, subcontractor, material, labor, overhead, equipment, miscellaneous, etc. The creation of quick, simple contracts and jobs that aren't too time-consuming to produce. Document control provided by the order entry module. The ability to produce quotes, orders, etc. and then print these documents. Analysis and reporting provided by the Project and Job Cost module. Now when you enter a quote and order entry, you can start the new contract wizard to create a new contract in Project and Job Costing. When you post the quote, order entry sends estimates of the quantity, total costs, total revenue to Project and Job Costing. Later, when the order type is changed from quote to active, let's say an order entry, Project and Job Costing changes the project status to open. Project and Job Costing also accepts costs from job-related shipments that you post in order entry. For shipments that use project invoicing, Project and Job Costing handles the billings and costs. You can also choose to post job-related invoices in order entry for projects that use item invoicing, except of course for projects that use the completed project accounting method. When you post invoices in accounts receivable, then our AR updates Projects and Job Costing with the costs and billing information. Two new options on the project maintenance form let you set default methods for calculating costs and billing amounts on job-related documents you process in order entry. The OE miscellaneous charges, and also the default billing rate. Decide whether to record costs and charges in order entry. You can now record related non-material costs in order entry as miscellaneous charges. Order entry then sends both costs and revenue amounts to Project and Job Costing. You can also process job-related item costs on sales orders in order entry, as well as on receipts in purchase orders. With the new options on the contract maintenance form and the project maintenance form, you can assign different customers to projects within a contract and bill different customers on contract projects. The new contract option, Allow Multiple Customers, lets you assign customers other than the contract customer to individual projects in a contract. Project and Job Costing uses the contract customer as a default customer for new projects. However, you can change the customer for a particular project until you post an invoice for that project. The new contract option, Invoice Multiple Customers, is a default setting for new projects. At the project level, Invoice to Multiple Customers lets you post shipments in order entry and post invoices in accounts receivable for customers other than the project customer. The new contract wizard provides a new option, Default New Contract Customers to Projects. This lets you choose whether to copy project customers from an existing contract to projects that are new projects. To ensure that all the projects on the new contract use the new contract customer, select the default New Contract Customers to Projects on the Copy Form tab of the new contract wizard. The Project and Job Costing option form now includes several new settings that permit even more control over processing functions. The new default posting date option lets you specify a posting date in addition to the document date for all transactions posted to GL. In version 5.5, each transaction uses separate document and posting dates. You can also specify the type of date, whether it's a document transaction date or session date, to use as a default posting date. Recognize only billed costs for projects that use item invoices. In previous versions, unless you generated a revenue recognition worksheet and a billing worksheet at the same time, it wasn't possible to include costs on the revenue recognition worksheet that had not been billed. Now the option only recognize costs when billed for item invoice type projects ensures that when you recognize revenue for projects that use an item invoice type, except those using the accrual basis accounting method, only those costs that you have invoiced during a billing worksheet are recognized. If you select this option when you recognize revenue for time and materials projects or for fixed price projects that use the billings and cost accounting method and an item invoice type, revenue recognition includes only costs that are marked as billed. Choose whether to update payroll expense accounts. The Use Expense Accounts option lets you choose whether to use the payroll expense account and the employee expense account form PJC time cards when you update payroll. If you do not select this option, the time card created in Canadian or U.S. payroll modules will use the account specified for the earnings and deduction codes and the payroll employee record. Choose whether to update budgets. The new Update Budgets option lets you choose whether to update actuals and recognize budget sets in budget maintenance when you process transactions. Please note that project and job costing can process transactions much faster if it does not have to update the budget data each time. Billing rates in different currencies. If you use multi-currency, you can now set up billing rates in a variety of currencies in the categories, employees, equipment, and miscellaneous expense, overhead expense, subcontractors, and charges setup forms. The setup forms now include a grid where you enter default rates for different currencies. For example, the equipment form lets you specify default billing rates for standard projects. The employees form and subcontractors form provides a separate tab to specify values for standard projects. The Enhanced Billing Worksheet. Version 5.5 now provides enhancements to the billing worksheet form. You can now specify the AR account set for invoices you send to accounts receivable. The account set used for a contract appears as a default for each invoice line on the billing worksheet, but you can change account sets on the worksheet. If you created invoices by contract and there's more than one customer for the contract, the billing worksheet includes a separate line for each customer and the contract. Enhancements have also been done to the revenue recognition and the reopen project worksheets. The revenue recognition worksheet and reopen project worksheet also let you open separate forms where you can provide or override the default posting date if you want to post the entries to a different year or period than the worksheet date. Improved transaction processing. Use separate posting dates and document dates in transactions. Consistent with changes in other Sage Accpac ERP modules, you can now specify posting date in addition to transaction date. If you want to post a transaction to General Ledger using a different date than the date of the transaction. Edit the Work in Process account for projects that use item invoices. You can now edit the Work in Process account in transactions for all projects that use item invoices. Previously, you could change Work in Progress account only for time and materials projects. Use any cost type with employee expenses. In previous versions, when you process employee expenses, you could only specify categories that use the labor cost type, even if the expense code was for hotel expenses or airfare. In version 5.5, the time card form lets you specify a category that uses any cost type, so you can classify employee expenses using categories that are consistent with the actual expense. Take advantage of IC unit of measure conversion factors. In version 5.5, when you post job-related material transactions, project and job costing converts the quantity used in the transaction to the unit of measure used for the specified project resource category. To make the conversion, project and job costing uses the conversion factor specified for the unit of measure in the item record and inventory control. Improve material estimates and material cost processing. In version 5.5, estimating and processing materials costs and revenues for standard projects is now very convenient. You can now use a price list when processing material usage and material return transactions, and even when setting up revenue estimates for materials on standard projects. When setting up cost estimates for material on standard projects, you can use the cost for an item in inventory control. Use serialized inventory and lot tracking to track items. In version 5.5, project and job costing is fully integrated with Sage Accpac serialized inventory and lot tracking modules. You can also use serialized inventory lot tracking to track material transactions you process using material usage and material returns. If you use both serialized inventory and lot tracking, you can choose whether to launch one or both programs. Enhance reports. The Aged Work in Progress report now includes costs for fixed price projects that use billing and costs or accrual accounting method, and an item invoice type. Previously, only costs for time and material projects appeared on the Aged Work in Progress report.
Next, to find out more information, call DataBit at 6334-0388 now. Thank you.